Behind this garage door is the first Biturbo car ever made, and it was buried in here 30 years ago with only 27,000 original miles on it. And while pulling it out of the garage, we made a crazy bet that you have to see to believe.
Are you kidding me? Yes. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, dude.
And then at the end of the video, we got to bring in a brand new 2024 Maserati that also has a Biturbo and compare the two cars, which is one of the coolest things we've ever done. But to get to that point, we first had to go to where the car was sitting.
Wow.
Dude, look at that.
Well, it's way worse than the pictures you sent us. So it's a Maserati Biturbo, right?
Biturbo, 84, 27,000 miles.
I heard it was the first time they'd put a Biturbo in a production car.
Right.
But I heard it was also horrifically unreliable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the first at anything, that's what happens.
That's why Mike is wrong when it comes to Tesla. He thinks Tesla's junk. And I'm like, they were the first to bring it to market.
They were not.
You know, on that scale?
On that scale, sure, but this is the first production car. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. Not the same thing. Did they had electric cars in the early 1900s?
Yeah.
When the first Prius was like a 98 and it was a hybrid. I know it's not full electric, but that thing got 50 miles to the gallon.
At the turn of the 20th century, there was a race between what three ways that cars could be powered. One was by steam, the other one was electric, and one was petrol. And obviously petrol won out. Yeah. Electric cars have been around for a long, long time.
Yeah, 100%.
But Elon and Tesla, well, Tesla
they definitely
and then later
blew it
Elon,
up the biggest.
Yeah.
Per se, yeah, I would agree with that. For sure.
So in the comments, let me know who just won that exchange, me or Mike.
I mean, for me, just coming to the back of this car, I've never been in one of these, seen one of these in person. I absolutely love the badging on the rear, the Biturbo and the block square, that all 80s style.
It's a cool looking car. Also, I know for a fact, because we've been in them before, it has Maserati badging everywhere. Like, once you see the inside, there's a Maserati clock, there's a Maserati carpet, there's a Maserati door card, or a kick plate or something. Like, there's so many Maserati emblems and badges all over this car. They really, really wanted you to know that's a Maserati. This car actually has a lot of sentimental value. It belonged to a gentleman who unfortunately recently just passed away, and that gentleman was friend of the channel, Joe's uncle. And so he called us and said that the Maserati had been in the garage for
30 years.
30 years, and he wanted to get it pulled out. He wanted to have us clean it and do right by his uncle and honor his life by cleaning this thing up, and then I believe you guys are going to be getting this thing back up and running and take it to Florida and drive it around down there.
Right, we're going to ship it down to Florida. We have somebody that's going to be able to put a new timing belt on it and hopefully get the engine started so we don't have to worry about doing that here. You guys just do such a good job. It's the best way we can honor my uncle is having you guys detail the car. Sorry, buddy, but I got him. He's right here.
You should keep that and be like, at this point, Joe decided to kill a bee. All the camera's going to see is Joe going from honor my uncle. Wham!
Oh my God!
I want to see the moment Joe's face changed from like empathy and fear.
It was like natural reaction because I'm like, I gotta get him for him. Just
it went from emotional to death. But yeah, your uncle was obviously a car guy. Not only did he own this, he actually owned the car that is on your shirt that we had done for a video of the 71 Dodge Challenger, and we coined it the Death Trap and made some merch.
This one's super special, and it's full circle for me because we started our channel, Joe's Garage, when you guys were doing the Challenger, and you guys did my 1998 2.5 RS Impreza, which is a restoration on my channel. And now to cap off the icing on the cake, the best car I've given you yet is this Biturbo Maserati, and I know that you guys are gonna make it look incredible.
We will, not only for you, but obviously to honor.
Yeah,
your
there's no better
uncle.
way to honor my uncle than getting this car back the way it deserves to be. And I know he would have loved it. And he's here with us in memory, so yeah, this is like the best thing we could do for him.
After we load it, I heard from little birdie that the Subaru might have gotten some work done to it?
Yeah, we're making great progress with the 2.5 Impreza build, and you know, we're almost down to a rolling chassis. I just got it on a custom rolling frame, so if we head over to my shop, we can roll it out and take a good look at it and show you guys where we're at.
Yeah, and real quick guys, before we go ahead and start pulling this out, go check out Joe's channel. Joe's been a killer friend. He has taken some of the advice that we've given him and he's pursued his own channel, and you're just an all-around good dude.
Bro,
and
I appreciate everything you guys have done
every
for
time
me.
I shake his hand like that.
We got that.
No, I'm not doing it again. We just did 2 in a row. I'm not jinxing it. You guys should love him too. Go check out his channel. 10 out of 10 guy. Without us rambling too much, let's go ahead and drag this thing out. All right, Mike, what do you want to bet these are locked up?
No way, dude. This is a Maserati. I bet you, as soon as we tug on it, all of them will unlock.
All right, what are we betting?
I'll bet you there's a little ice cream shop up the road. I'll bet you an ice cream.
Chocolate swirl?
If they got it.
Wait. You didn't spit in yours. Doesn't count. All right, here, moment of truth.
Let's see.
Oh no.
Come a little bit forward. No, they're moving. It's moving.
All right. Oh, there's one more that's locked though.
Which one?
This back one. Stop wiggling it. That's cheating.
No, we didn't say that in the rules.
Uh-oh, Mike. You're gonna owe me. Oh, he's gonna owe me some ice cream.
Dang.
We're about to move the trailer into position. It's going up. Chocolate swirl. He's locked up. Get off the car, Mike. Mike, get off the car. This is cheating. Gap.
There's no chance.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? You gotta be kiting me. Oh, dude, I was so close to
That's
winning.
your own fault for being like, all right, one last chance.
Well,
Look what happened.
Brent wasn't gonna film it. I was like, if it's gonna pop anywhere, it's gonna be right there.
he
And sure enough,
Got it.
dude.
Oh, bro, that was like the best clip.
Dude, yes. We're getting ice cream, boys.
Anyway, before we stop back at the shop, let's check in on the 2.5 RS that's made leaps and bounds since we last saw it.
Holy crap, Joe, you've done a lot to this thing, man.
Yeah, buddy, we're there, guys. It rolls and everything. We can push it wherever we need. It's really just a rolling chassis at this point because everything, suspension, drivetrain, completely pulled. There's 2 long arms in the back that I have to get removed because I had the car jacked up on that before. Other than that, man, we're almost done stripping the engine bay. But just last week, I just built these frames all out of old bed rails, and we just cut it down. I bolted the front to the cross member where the engine cradle goes and the rear subframe and just put it on the dollies we use to move the cars.
That's pretty smart.
Yo, wait until you see this, guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and like we can just start going forward after I get the wheels pulled. Here we go. Check this out.
I'm not even touching it.
Bro. There we go. Some of the goals for the car, you see the top goal, January 2025, back on the road.
Yeah.
It's still a long shot.
And remove all rust is where we've just completed? Is
Yeah,
that-
well, we're close. Here, check this out. You guys get to see a sneak peek. Nobody's even seen this yet on my channel. I just cut this panel out. Oh, it was so bad. Everybody made comments about that panel. You know what? It's even funnier. I'll show it to you.
This thing's come a long way. Joe is, you know, a lot of times we detail these cars for people and then, you know, it takes them a couple more years to get back to.
Check this out, yo. This was that panel right here. And this was what I got the most comments about, like doing any videos, was how bad the rust was right here.
Wow.
I'm no like fabricator or welder, but you know, I'm just doing it as I go. I'm just the average guy who's attempting to restore a rusty car. I don't think I'll ever do a rusty car like this, other than the death trap. I mean, that one's gonna be coming to the channel, so.
Sweet. Every single week he's putting out videos, guys, so you
Every
need
Saturday.
to go support him. Joe, 10 out of 10 guy, helps us with a lot of our videos. But we got a Maserati in the trailer that we got to get back to the shop so we can put out another one.
Back at the shop with the Maserati Biturbo. And if you know anything about me, I love 80s cars, and this is no exception. I think this thing looks sweet. From the big front grille with the trident in the front to the back end that looks like an E30 or a Mercedes 190E of the day. The back end looks just like those cars, besides actually all the badging. This car really wanted you to know is a Maserati. And let's actually throw a counter up and count how many badges are on this car. 1, 2. With the 4 caps, that makes 11.
This thing is riddled with Maserati badges, which, like Mike had mentioned, does make it very different from the exterior of a BMW E30, or at least in my opinion, because it is a square car. It has the back rubber bumper, it has the front rubber bumper, takes a lot of cues from that E30, or maybe the E30 took a lot of cues from the Maserati, but whichever came first, the chicken or the egg, I think it looks like an E30, even down to the wheels. I'm not sure what the BMW wheels that they used during that time period, obviously they're a little bit different, but somewhat similar. But what I can say is that the interior of this car definitely makes sure you know that it's a Maserati. So first we're gonna go ahead and use a tire cleaner to remove all the blooming and dirt from the rubber, and then we're gonna use a wheel cleaner to remove the brake dust and brighten up these old alloy wheels. Thankfully, this Maserati was stored inside a garage and not inside of a barn like the last couple vehicles that we had worked on, and it's original paint and not repainted like those vehicles either. First, we're gonna use a pre-soak to lift up all the debris and contamination out of the clear coat. We'll rinse it away with our pressure washer, and then we'll foam it up and we'll start the wash process. So the owner of this small business called Ballard actually sent us this Pro Blaster for the chassis of the cars, and we told him that we would use it in the channel and let you guys decide how you guys think it works. So without further ado, let us know. All right, so now it's time to clean the engine bay, and Mike was ranting and raving about how cool the opening of this hood is.
He's being a little dramatic, but to open the hood, we obviously pull the lever inside, and then there's this other lever in here for all the way over here that you push forward, and then it lifts open. It also closes on both sides like that, which is actually really nice.
This is a complete cluster, you know what. It doesn't even look like any engine I'm familiar with at all.
I wonder where the turbos are mounted on there, here.
What kind of engine is this? Is it it looks like a flat six? No,
No,
a boxer six?
No, it's a 2.5 liter V6 engine, bi-turbo. That's the name, bi-turbo. And it's actually was a lot faster than you would think. This had about 190 horsepower, and it did 0 to 60 right under 6 seconds when it came out.
That's as fast as Brent's WRX.
For real. And for 1984, 40 years ago, this was actually a performance car. Like, you can't say it wasn't.
Look at the air intake. The air box being mounted on the back of the engine instead of up on the front. Look how long the piping is. I can't imagine that helped with efficiency.
Probably not. But this actually sort of reminds me, I'm a big Audi fan, of the 2.7 bi-turbo that was in the Audi S4s. The intake system here, and the air coming through the top like that. It's a totally different design if you know what the motor looks like, but it is kind of similar, really. And actually, if you kind of notice, just like the exterior of the car, they got Maserati badges all over the engine bay too. We got one here, one here. It says Maserati over there. We have to add that to the counter, and I think, actually, counting that one too, we're at 16 for this car so far. Yeah.
But first things first, let's go ahead and I should probably vacuum off this foam that has, as Mike would say,
seen better days, that's for sure.
You got to do it in synchro. Ready?
Okay.
As Mike would say, seen better days. As Mike would say, seen better days.
Okay.
As Mike would say, seen better days. So we'll go ahead and vacuum up that first, then we'll clean the engine bay, and then we'll be ready to wash the outside.
So now that we're actually just sitting here, me and Brent, it really interested me how fast this car actually was. Looks pedestrian to me, kind of, but this is a real performance car. This is faster than the M3 of the day, 0 to 60. This was faster than Corvettes of the day, 0 to 60. And the only cars I could find that were faster than this were like 911s, Ferraris. Grand National was faster than this, but the Grand National was wicked for its day. You had to have a special car to beat this thing in a race. It was not a slouch whatsoever.
You think this thing would smoke stuff now?
So a properly set up running one of these, and if you're a little wild to give it a tune, this would be pretty quick today. I mean, obviously not like ZL1 Camaro or GT500 fast, but it would still be pretty quick on the road and a lot of fun to drive. Only 2,600 pounds.
Your vehicle's brakes are made generally of iron, the pads and the rotors. And when your car stops, it spits little pieces of iron into the air, and then that iron gets caught in your vehicle's paint. So we use an iron remover to remove that so that it is safer to polish as well as bonds better with wax or sealant. And you can tell here, I already sprayed this section of the car. All those little purple dots as well as some of these purple run lines are little pieces of iron that we're removing out of the vehicle. So we're gonna go ahead and spray the whole entire car, and then we're gonna go ahead and clay bar the vehicle to remove not only all the iron contamination, but every little other piece of sediment that's in the vehicle's paint to prepare it for polishing. It's time to polish the Biturbo, and I am super excited to get started on this one because the paint is actually in really nice shape compared to the last couple cars that we did. The last couple cars had really bad repaints and they were in much worse condition than the Biturbo. So this one should be a lot easier and the end result should be much better. What I noticed when I look at the paint is that we have some light scratching, we have some oxidation, and that's about it. I mean, it's really in good shape. And the best part is there's not even any major dents or rust holes or anything that I need to be conscious of while polishing. So I'm gonna start with a light polish and a foam pad just to pull some of that oxidation off and see if we can get rid of most of the scratches and brighten up this cream / off-white paint job. And I think it's gonna end up coming out really nicely. And I think we're gonna be left with a near perfect looking Maserati Biturbo.
And while polishing, Joe actually wanted to stop by the shop and film some stuff of his own for his own channel. So we got a quick reaction from him, and then we surprised him with something as well.
Sure, it looks a bit better, huh?
Oh my goodness.
Don't look inside yet. We're not done with that.
This is incredible. Just this trunk panel, you would think that this car is brand new. I mean, look at that, man.
I spent a lot of time this morning polishing it, so it better look really good.
I cannot believe it's even this nice, you know, because I knew it would be clean, dude, but I didn't think the paint was going to be in this good a condition. I'm thoroughly shocked.
I left the best for last, just for you, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Joe really wanted to come and have a piece of this cosmetic restoration. He really wanted to polish. He's pretty handy with a polisher
Holy
himself.
smokes,
so,
dude.
I left you the hood.
You left me the hood,
I left
man.
you the hood,
I'm the lucky one that gets to do the whole, like, the showpiece right here, because, you know, the hood hits all those reflective spots. But this is incredible. I honestly cannot believe this cream, what you've done so far. It is incredible, man. Oh,
It's in good shape, but I'm glad you're here to go ahead and put your hands on it and put your touch on it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and set you up with whatever polisher you want. You pick whatever you want off the wall and
I
get to it.
Get to hop on whatever polisher too. Oh my gosh, I feel so lucky.
And Joe is recording this interaction on his GoPro. It's not the best quality ever because it was dark in there, but I wanted to leave it in because I thought it was funny and you guys might enjoy it. When you set up the phone, take your finger and hold it down, and it'll lock the focus so it's not going
around.
Told me that. Brent.
Sorry, some of us are good with cameras and others still live in 1998 and just don't know how to use technology because you're old.
See how mean he is? He hasn't had his overnight oats breakfast.
Bro, I just had mine. RJ has to go online and have overnight oats shipped to him. I make my own at home.
Oh, you make your own oats?
Yeah,
okay.
Because I'm handy dandy and he has to use.
You know what? You know, you guys are busy. Sometimes you gotta make your own. Sometimes you gotta order them off the internet.
I'm better used as
Mine has better ingredients in it, fact.
Oh, really?
Fact.
This has been our most recent
discussion.
Back and forth is me telling him how much better my overnight oats are than his homemade.
Yeah, he has to drink
overnight
his.
oats.
I get to eat mine. Which would you rather have?
Ooh,
Drink your calories or eat them?
I'll be honest. There's a flip to that. I don't know if I could drink oats, bro, but protein shakes and muscle gainers, like easy.
So hang on, he calls it slop. That's what he calls his.
Oh,
Mine's like a quality protein drink. High quality chia seeds, flax seeds. Go ahead, tell them your flavor of the day.
French toast.
And what do you eat every day? French toast. What did I have yesterday? Blueberry cobbler. What did I have today? Banana bread.
Cookie dough.
Maybe tomorrow I'll have cookie dough.
He has
cookies
cookie dough
cream
and
on
Oreo.
Friday.
So he'll have a little Oreo for breakfast, a little cookie dough, gives a little sugar in
bro,
for the morning.
it's all about those gains, right? Look at those lats. He's got those lats. Dude, what did you call yours? Mush? What did he call?
Slop.
Slop, bro. Stop
There's
it.
a whole backstory. When we went to go film, when we filmed the Corvette that was in New Hampshire, the
Yeah,
one, we stayed in a hotel. Mike and I didn't have anything for dinner one
So you
night.
like free breakfast?
So we went to where the breakfast area was, and we saw little packets of brown sugar oatmeal.
Yeah.
And we took it back to our hotel room and made it, and we just started calling it slop.
Oh my god, bro. Slop.
Brent, on the other hand, he's a big chicky nuggy and ranch guy.
That's to everybody, and it's not true. I mean, everyone likes a good chicken nugget.
Right.
Chicken nuggets hit pretty hard. I'm not saying that you're bad for for liking chicken nuggets. I'm saying you're bad for not liking anything else but chicken nuggets.
So sitting in this Maserati, I gotta say, I'm thoroughly impressed. This thing is really, really cool, and this has to be one of the most luxurious and comfortable cars I've ever sat in. And we've done a lot of older Mercedes that were super nice, but this thing really does take the cake. Everything is wrapped in leather or Alcantara. This is a real wood shifter. It looks great, and these seats are the most comfortable seats I think I've ever sat in. Brent, take a seat next to me. Brent, what'd you just say?
These are really nice.
Aren't they? This is the only car I've ever seen have leather wrapped around the metal to hold this up. Look at the stitching around the sun visor. You just never see anything like this in literally any other car. But with that being said, as you can tell by that shift knob alone, we've got a lot of badges in this car. So let's get a count of what we got in the interior, because I think it's gonna be a lot. There's 4 speakers that all have the Maserati logo as well. All 3 pedals have the logo. All 4 floor mats have the logo. And count them, 3 logos on both sides just to enter the car. Almost missed this little guy. Now that I've counted up all of the interior badges, there were 26 in total. We're gonna see if RJ can guess how many there are. RJ, what are you doing?
Are you guys done counting the interior?
Yes, give me a nice guess.
14. Oh my God. 20?
A little bit more.
22?
Actually, not a little bit more. I'm sorry about that.
25? 26? Flipping emblems on the interior?
26.
What does that put the overall counter at?
It's got to be over 40 now, but I don't know exactly.
40?
We'll put it up there somewhere of the total counter where we're at.
Why is there a Maserati symbol on the AC?
On the AC, on the
controls?
radio, on the steering wheel.
There's one under the mat and there's some on the mats.
On
Oh
the
my
mats,
gosh.
On every pedal, on every speaker.
I feel like there's probably still one we're missing.
I mean, I had to really dig to try to find all
There's
these.
one on every single pedal. They really, really, really wanted you to know that this was a Maserati. What if this is the Maserati Trident that clipped into the buckle? How cool would that be?
Super cool. I'd like
That'd be super cool. All right, let's get this back seat out. Oh,
Well, we've got some seats here. This is interesting.
that's good.
It looks like this is like bird seed. I don't often see
Holy
these.
smokes!
I
That's
don't know,
so
does it?
cool. Did you just find that now?
Yeah, and then
This thing was so far ahead of
both
its time.
sides. Who needs tint?
For camping. What do you guys think people used those shaders for back in the day?
Privacy, Brent.
For privacy, Brent, it's called a privacy shade. This is the one thing I wish my Scirocco did. I wish it did this. Brian's E30 does this with the back windows flare out.
Great place to ash your cigar. After you're
Awesome
being
place to
driven
ash
around.
your
I mean,
cigar.
this is too small.
Never leave your ash in the car, but don't litter.
All right, time to clean the leather seats from the Maserati, and we're gonna use a dedicated leather cleaner as well as a soft bristle horsehair brush to just gently agitate the leather because it is genuine and we don't wanna be removing any of the dye or any of the texture from the top layer of the leather, but we're actually gonna have to continue that process to the interior of the vehicle as well because the whole entire door card is covered in leather. The whole entire dash is covered in leather, the center console, pretty much the whole entire interior of this car is leather. We're going with one of the least aggressive agitation methods and leather cleaner just to clean it properly, and then we'll go ahead and condition everything and make sure it's soft and make sure it'll last for another 40 years.
Now we're gonna finish up the detail, show you guys the final result, and then we have a really cool surprise for you, so keep watching.
Okay, the Maserati is all finished, and now we figured it'd be a good time to call in our resident car expert and broker, John Sabo, to give us a little bit of the history and backstory of the Biturbo, and he's also bringing a special car along for us to compare to the Biturbo, and I believe he should be here in just a second. All right, I think I hear him, and I did not expect that. Out with the old, in with the new. What's going on, John Sabo?
Hey RJ, how are you?
Good to see you.
Long time no see.
This thing's spicy. It looks great.
Oh, thank you very much.
Beautiful. What is it exactly?
This is a 2024 Maserati Gran Turismo. It's basically their two-door Grand Touring car. This one is just short of 500 horsepower. It's a twin turbo V6. It shares the power plant with Maserati's supercar, the MC20.
So John, you basically brought us a modern version of this car.
I tried. Basically, besides both being white, they both have twin turbo V6s. This one is considered a biturbo by name only. It's interchangeable dialogue.
What is the difference between, I've had this question seriously forever, and no one can actually answer me exactly. I've heard that a biturbo is a smaller turbo that helps the bigger turbo spool faster, it builds pressure, and then I've heard twin turbos are two of the same size turbos. Does any of that make sense, or have I been lied to my whole life?
Well, you haven't been lied to. I mean, there's sequential and then there's parallel turbos, but these are literally two turboed cars. That's it. Biturbo, twin turbo, just different lingo.
So it's just semantics, it means the same thing?
That's an old word for it. This is a new word for it.
Speaking of old word for it, was this the first time it was actually used in a car?
Yeah, this is the first production car to have a twin turbo setup and also a 3-valve head.
When they built this car, what market were they competing in?
They were targeting the BMW 3 Series primarily, what I think. I mean, there's other cars that had the Ford Thunderbird turbo coupe. Obviously, they always wanted to compare power ratios to the Corvettes. Corvette in '84 was the Crossfire injection car. That only had 205 horsepower. So I mean, handling-wise, power-wise, handling are right on par with BMW. Power, they were probably one up on that.
Wow. That's exactly what I actually compared this car to when I was looking at the body style, the wheel design and everything. It really does look a lot like a BMW from certain angles until you get into the interior, which is the nicest place I've ever been in an 80s car, by far. I mean, there's not a
cigar smoking lounge in there. To continue your comparison thought about BMW versus the Maserati. These were about $26,000 in 1984. That was a lot of money in '84.
It's like $90,000 now.
Right. The BMW of comparison was probably around 16, 17. So I mean, it's a $10,000 variable between how much leather and turbos do you get for 10 grand? This much.
It's a lot. I mean, well, 10 grand back then is 30 grand now, but still, I mean, that's, like I said, the more that I worked on this car, the more I fell in love with it, because from a bird's eye view, it doesn't look like much of anything until you're sitting inside it, or you find out the performance and engineering that went into creating this car.
I'm a huge BMW fan, as you know. You can drive down the road and see 50 BMWs on the way home from the 90s and early 2000s. You won't see one of these.
Yeah, that's true. Especially because underneath, I don't even know if we showed it much in the video, but the chassis is almost surrounded by a whole entire cage, I'm assuming to protect the oil pan and some of the other vulnerable parts of the chassis, no?
These cars have pretty good rust issues through the years. When you find a solid one, that's special.
So how has Maserati done in quashing their reliability issues from this time period and into, well, probably the early 2000s? They were kind of finicky?
I mean, from this car probably until the last generation, it was notorious as service hounds. They're always in the service department. Maintenance costs are expensive. You know, they shared a lot of parts with Ferrari. The newer one, it's just not shared with anything outside of Maserati.
I thought Ferrari had created this engine for this car, no?
They also have a twin turbo V6, but it's not the Tuno. This car's got 5,000 miles on it, and it's been trouble free. But you can see, if you want to look between the two cars, your two flex pipes up front that lead the airbox. I mean, obviously this is a dual airbox system, but you will see that there's a similar vibe to it.
Absolutely. It looks like they left you a lot of room to do maintenance. Well,
they consider this a front mid-engine car.
I was going to say it's behind the front axle. Well, John, thank you so much for bringing what I view as the modern version of the Biturbo. Last question for you. Does this get your stamp of approval?
100%.
Would you put it in your garage?
No. I would be very interested to see what the final repair bill on this one, like every other person that thinks about Maserati. But you did a fantastic job bringing this thing back to life.
Guys, go check out Johnny Sabo at Johnny Sabo on Instagram. He's an exotic car broker and consultant, and he can source anything on four wheels. Thank you again so much.
My pleasure, buddy.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
But now it's time to do the reveal to Joe and his cousin, who is the one that's inheriting the car.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, guys, you can't see me, but I'm on the other side of the garage door with Joe and John. John is the owner of the Maserati Sun, and this car is now his. So without further ado, we're gonna pop this garage open and do the big reveal.
Oh, wow.
It's just incredible, isn't it? That trunk lid just looks brand new.
Wow.
Have you ever seen it?
I have never seen it look this nice.
Yeah.
That is just incredible.
In its lifetime, because, we're about 30, and I don't think it's ever been, in my opinion, I've never seen it clean, but, he could tell you a little better.
Have you ever sat in it?
Supposedly, I rode in it when I was maybe 2 years old, but I don't remember.
Sure, well, we can't drive it because it doesn't need some engine work, but yeah, come check out the interior.
Absolutely.
The interior was shockingly
amazing.
The whole car is just out of control, man. I mean, it's so clean, it's actually giving me the chills.
Wow.
My
dad would love to see this right now.
I hope we're able to make him proud.
I want to take a picture. John, smile. Uncle John told me when we did the Challenger that, the Maserati was A-okay, but, with everything that was going on, we just kind of put it aside. So for you guys to get it in there now, it's really special. I mean, I almost started crying when I saw him sit down in the seat.
Oh, man. It's a beautiful car. I hope he's proud.
Oh,
I'm sure he would be.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
That's cool, man. What's the next plan of action for it after this?
It's going down to Florida eventually to my cousin who's a master mechanic, and he's going to
Yeah, shout out to
rebuild
Jim.
it.
I know he watches, guys. He loves your channel.
Shout out to my cousin Jim down in Florida.
Yeah, shout out Jim.
Yeah, because he's gonna do whatever to get it running, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and no better place than Florida because we won't have to worry about it getting dirty.
No more rust, no more salt. It'll stay
Nothing.
clean. I really thank you for the opportunity
Absolutely.
of letting us
Thank you so much
handle
for
such a special part of
for making this thing look so amazing. It really is amazing.
Thank you so much for the trust and
Thank
everything
you.
else.
Bro,
Joe,
RJ,
thank
man,
for
you guys
having
are the best. Brent, you too, buddy. We love you. Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for
Thanks,
everything
Brent.
you've done for us.
Guys, check out Joe's channel, Joe's Garage. And thank you guys for all the support you've given us. The fact that this is our job blows our minds, and we could not be more grateful. If you enjoyed this video, though, please give it a thumbs up so that it can reach more people. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, because we will be back next week with another one.